Assalamualaikum student. In this lecture we are going to talk about instrumentation used in the plant analysis. In the previous slides or in the previous lecture we have discussed about the method to make or to prepare the solution before we put our sample or before we put our plant sample in an instrument. So in the previous lectures we have discussed about the pre-treatment or the solution preparation of the plant sample. Now in this lecture we will talk about the instrumentation which are used in plant analysis. So there are many or there are several instruments that can be used to detect the certain elements present in the plant sample. The first technique or the first instrument which can be used is X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy or spectrometry. XRF. It is called as the XRF, X-ray fluorescence spectrometry, is a relatively effective quantitative technique to determine the elemental composition of any material. If you are going to analyze any elemental analysis of plant material, so you can use the X-ray fluorescence spectrometry, which can be used to determine the element composition, the elemental composition of any part of the plant. So it deals with the element composition of any material with the trace element abundance at the atomic level, at ppm level. The sample is excited by a primary high energy X-ray. Rays of the energy lower than the incident rays are emitted out of the sample, so called secondary rays or the X-ray fluorescence. First we need to excite the electrons of our sample or excite the atoms of our sample by a X-ray, and after the excitation are rays of the lower energy than the incident ray. First we bombard an incident ray on the sample, and then from the sample, after the excitation of the electrons, then a rays of a lower energy is emitted from the sample, which is called as a secondary ray or the X-ray fluorescent. The fluorescent X-rays are used to determine the abundance of the elements, while the intensity of these rays is proportional to the abundance of the elements present in the sample. So the fluorescence of the X-rays or the secondary rays tells you about the presence of an element in the sample. So intensity of the secondary ray depends on the nature of the sample. X-rays can be characterized by the two main types of the detectors, and after the emission of the secondary rays, these rays can be detected by the certain types of the detectors. The first is the wavelength dispersed detection, in which the first type of the detector is wavelength dispersive detection, which is in which the characteristic fluorescence X-rays diffracted from the element of the interest are selectively measured. The rays which are diffracted or which are separated from the element of the interest, they are selectively measured. The second is the emission detection, which detects a broad range of the elements simultaneously. The second type of the detector is emission detection, which can be detect a broad range of the element. The detectors can be adapted to analyze the broad range of the elements simultaneously, and the rays produced by the fluorescence of the atoms of the specific element. So every the rays which are diffracted or which are separated out of the element, they are specific to the certain element, and they are detected by the different detectors. X-ray fluorescence spectrometry or spectroscopy, it has a principle of the excitation of the sample by any X-ray source, and secondary radiation are measured by detector. Elements can be measured with the X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy which have the atomic number greater than 8. Limit of detection is 100 milligram per kg for the major element. And sample preparation, in the case of the X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, the sample preparation can be done by the drying, fine grinding and the processing. Advantages of the X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy are this: it is simple and low cost and the portable instrument. Disadvantages: it has a spectral interference method is a matrix dependent. Okay, now the next type of the instrument which can be used to determine the elements of any plant material, that is AAS, atomic absorption spectroscopy. It has a principle: it quantifies the absorption of the ground state atoms in the gaseous phase. Firstly, it quantifies the absorption of the ground state atoms which are present in the gaseous phase. The analyte concentration is determined by the absorption of the light absorption. It means that every element which are present in a sample, it has a specific type of it has a specific capacity to absorb the certain wavelength of light. So by that specific absorption of light, we can determine the element. All the metals can be determined by using the atomic absorption spectroscopy. And limit of detection, some microgram per liter, parts per billion. It has a limit of detection which is parts per million or less than 1 parts per billion. Sample preparation can be done by dry and the wet digestion method. Advantages: it is highly specific for an element. Low cost gases used. In this case, low cost gases can be used. It has a certain disadvantages like ionization, enhancement of the signal for the elements easily ionized when operating in the absorption mode, especially the sodium and potassium. Interferences caused by the viscosity or the specific gravity differences between the sample and the standard elements analyzed one at a time. So it has disadvantages, that ionization, um, enhancement of the signal for elements easily ionized, when some elements can be easily ionized when in the absorption mode, when they are in the absorption mode, for example sodium. Okay, another instrumentation which is ICP, inductively coupled plasma atomic emission spectrometry. It has a principle: in this case, electrons of the excited atoms, atoms are excited by different means. Electrons of the excited atoms return to their ground state and emit the electromagnetic radiations. First, electrons are excited, and when they come to the ground state, they emit the electromagnetic radiations at the wavelengths that are characteristics of that element. Argon plasma mostly is used as a source of the excitation. So in this case, when the element comes to its ground states, and at that time the radiation which is emitted from that element, that radiation or the intensity of that radiation basically determine the nature of the element. All elements except the gases and the non-metals can be determined by this technique. And limit of detection is parts per billion or less than parts per billion. Sample preparation again can be done by dry and the wet digestion method, and it has advantages that minimum chemical interferences, 4 to 6 orders of the magnesium of the intensity versus concentration. It is rapid analysis technique, precise analysis, and detection limit equal to or better than atomic absorption spectroscopy for many elements. And while it has some disadvantages, in this case, occurrence of the spectral interferences like use of the argon gas, which is expensive. Instrument is relatively expensive to purchase. So this is some disadvantage of ICP-AES, inductively coupled plasma atomic emission spectrometry.